or you get a pick on one side of the map, you're trying to regather control of maybe towards B tunnels or long A. So that's going to be a huge part of this game. We'll see whether FaZe can bring that to the table. I'm not really thinking too much for them on Dust2, to be fair. I feel like it'll be a good game, but I heavily favor Fnatic going forward in this one. I'm sure you feel the same way.
I think it's hard not to, but we are ready to go. The pistol round underway, and it looks like it's going to be a B-side attack from Fnatic. They've got 3 armor, so they haven't gone fully aggressive on this. They've gone for 2 utility players, 2 smokes, Crimson, Flusha being those 2. And on the other side, no kits, no utility. It's armor up on all, FaZe up on all, I guess you could say, if I wanted to keep up with Alex. But it's Jacob to take down Flusha, Dennis and Olaf respond. And this is at middle, so the wrap back around, they've caught off the aggression. So the CTs very commonly go for that cat boost, try and get the early information. They've caught them in their own trap. And now it's an open mid position and a split onto Kiyoshima. Out toward Dory, gets information, back inside of the site, tries to find Crimson in the window, but can't land it. And it's just onto Rain.
Yeah, that's the round over at that point. Unfortunately, Rain won't be able to do anything about this without any utility or a kit. Just going to be hoping he hits some headshots here. He gets $300 per kill. If he can have 1 or 2, that'd be great going forward, but there's almost a 0% chance of him winning this round. I'm taking an absolute blunder from Fnatic to give it away. Not going to be happening this time. It's Grims that gets the final kill. As you said there, FaZe going for a pretty standard setup, boosting 2 towards short, looking for that information. You're not necessarily trying to get kills in that position. You're trying to hunt and gather some information to start. They get the first kill, but the reaction comes in. Like I said, Fnatic, as soon as they lose that first frag, they're ready. They're backing each other up, and the man advantage comes in their favor. They go towards middle. Kiyoshima can't really do anything about it. He's isolated in B with the USP. Not the best weapon to spray down people coming through the doors and the window. And that's the round over. So it's going to be round number 2. And you'd assume FaZe will be forcing up into this one. They will indeed. Interesting enough, though, no one's saving for an AWP whatsoever. So they're all in here. And it's actually 5 players towards long as well. This is what I was talking about on Cobble in the previous matchup. Normally on these kind of rounds, you want to go all in, and you can see on the minimap right now, they've done a smoke towards middle. So that's taking the vision away from anyone who has a scout or an AK, but unfortunately for them, it's Fnatic walking into B. Round over, set up with the smokes towards the B doors. They might as well save their pistols and armor at this point. There's no way they were ever going to win this round. So bomb we planted, you'll see. We can just bring out the minimap quickly. So you'll see right now, they'll just be sticking into that pit area. They want to make sure they keep all 5 players alive. They're not going to get nothing out of this round. So this is a good call. It's difficult. It's one of those rounds, like I said, you're all in. But had they rushed long, for example, we know Dust2 is a very spawn-based map. That could have worked out.
Chasing down, giving away frag money. Not worth it. Very rare we have 10 alive. Well, we've got a chance, though, Henry. It mentioned in the interview when we saw that at the start of the game.
Yeah.
That having Kiyoshima, having 1-2 majors, bringing experience, how much can his experience really dictate their... I mean, if there's pressure on them in this group, how much can he really contribute in that sense? I mean, it's hard to change 4 players around you that quickly. I
think what's more interesting is the fact they have Robin coming in. Like, obviously, Kiyoshima can bring some sort of basic fundamentals in terms of their setups and the way they should be approaching situations, but it's going to come down to Robin. I think they need someone like a father figure almost, and he's like one of the most legendary names in CS 1.6. Doesn't necessarily have the experience in CSGO, but CS fundamentals, that's what they need. These guys, they need to be kept on a tight leash. Someone to watching them and prodding them every time they're overfacing, for example. So I think he's the most important factor going into this one. So far, it's 2-0 in favor of Fnatic, but FaZe, like I said, they get a second bite of the cherry this time. They managed to keep their pistols and the armor as well, and we'll see whether Fnatic upgrade their MAC-10s.
Might have a sound issue right now on Crims. I see him unplugging the headset, so we'll get that sorted quickly.
Yeah.
There should be some sort of special drop or something for viewers when 10 players stay alive and around, because it never really happens. But it did.
Never really happens, you're right. Yeah, that's quite a nice idea, actually. Like little sequence enforced drops, so every time something kind of crazy happens or the knife kill comes in, that drops 100 packages. That would be quite nice.
Yeah, that would be cool.
But there it is. And
we should not tell anyone that idea. Keep it to ourselves.
Sell it to
don't tell anyone, and we'll go talk to Valve after this game.
Okay, we can do that.
Just don't tell anyone, though.
All right. Well, apart from the 500,000 people watching, I think it's a safe secret between us two. Don't worry.
Perfect.
Excellent. Well,
they're not allowed in the building. They can't get to Valve first.
That's true.
Don't tweet
I've got that advantage yet. No one sent a tweet. So yeah, Fnatic, interesting round coming up next. Obviously, pretty simple procedure for them in the last. Walking to be uncontested. They are going to be keeping 3 MAC-10s by the looks of things. So 2 AKs to go with it. Still obviously heavily favor them. It's going to be the CZs, Deagles, and a couple of flashbangs here for FaZe Clan going into the next round. But so far, so good for Fnatic. Should be the 3-0 coming in, but you never know with these guys. FaZe obviously have players like Rain as well. He was almost legendary on Dust2 at one point. When he was in the peak of his career, when they were Kingwin or G2, he was fantastic at holding long A by himself, especially. He's really one of those strong anchor players. Dust2 was his playground. He was well known for holding his positions and finding 1 or 2 frags consistently. I'm hoping to see that again on the CT side here against Fnatic. But the thing is, when Fnatic get into that godlike mode, when they find their form, that's when it's very hard to predict them. They're not the kind of team you can say, well, we know what they do this round. They'll be just taking the spawns, they'll be sticking together as a 5-man unit, and it's quickly wrecking people on all sides of the map. So it's very difficult to actually work against them when they get in that gear.
We often say that as well about Fnatic, that they are the team that take the rule book and either throw it away or rewrite it, take your pick, because they do the aggressive picks. They always find a way. If you get a man advantage against Fnatic, you're less safe against them than any other team. They always find a way to pull that back. And on maps like Dust2, for example, now it did cost them at ECS, and this is where I was saying some of the timing seemed to be off. They seem to be forcing it a little bit, and it caught them out. But they had a player go down on stairs. I think it was Olaf that actually dropped. Dennis walks into tunnels. Now, usually you lose the first duel, and you're not really in a position to trade, or you're in a position so far forward on the map that if you go down, it opens up the site. You kind of have to stay there and stay efficient. Dennis just pushes in. Now, normally, Fnatic, in the past, we would see them win those. And that's the point. Where else do you see that? Overpass is the same thing. Their play off each other in the CT side and bathrooms is so impressive. And obviously, Inferno not in the map pool. Crim's at the B site, same thing. They're just so good at doing things that are unorthodox, playing one man out, but they still have a way of making it work with the second teammate, whether it's utility, a trade potential. I mean, it's pretty incredible. That's why I think they're a very exciting team. I think that's why a lot of fans like watching them, because it's just unpredictable.
I managed to catch up with the FaZe guys, actually. I was asking them how their preparation went for all this event. A lot of teams have been boot camping, obviously, but FaZe did not put that. They've been sticking to purely online play. That's not necessarily a problem, but for me, if you're coming up before a major, you want to be in the same room. You want to be, like, kind of making sure you have meetings at the end of every game and working out what the problems were and sitting down. They didn't actually opt for that, which is an interesting move, in my opinion. We talked about Fnatic. They've been doing that, and obviously teams like Liquid, we know they've been in Amsterdam. So that's the teams that are really taking this seriously. That's kind of funny because Liquid aren't even a full team here, and they're taking it to different countries in Europe to actually go for the full boot camp here. One key storyline for me in this map as well, Fox. He's obviously going to be the AWP player here. How do we think he's going to fare? Do you really think he can step up against the likes of JW, maybe Olaf Mice on that double orb setup when they get to the CD side as well? Do we think he can have any impact here on Dust2?
Absolutely. I think he's always explosive. He always has that potential. I just go back to your point as well on the whole boot camp thing. I think it's interesting that a lot of teams won't elect to do that, because sometimes it's knowing your personalities and knowing your own team.
Yep.
You don't want to put too much pressure on yourself. You don't want to overplay, because in some cases, if things do go poorly, if there are issues and you're overplaying it, you start to force those issues and try and put pressure on yourself to fix them, and it just gets worse.
I think
so. I kind of do like that passive approach on things.
I think that's true when you have like a team house. That's proven in history. That doesn't work for a lot of teams. Some teams, sure, it does. It's a nice atmosphere. If you're already close friends, that can be fine. But sometimes, like you said, this is a job. Sometimes you're not going to be with your best mates. You're not going to be the people you necessarily want to hang around with all the time.
It's true. I don't like you.
Exactly. But unfortunately for us, this is just a job. We have to do it. And so when we're at events, we make sure we don't talk to each other at all, which is a firm rule we stand by. But just to make the point, a lot of team houses don't work, because when you have a bad game or someone makes a big decision, you have a huge argument, a huge clash of horns within that kind of space, and then it's very toxic to actually live with that person. So for me, though, before a major event, you want to be in the same room. You want to be having those mistakes. You want to see them happen and talk about it as adults, and that's how you should be working forward. When I was playing in the team, right, when you're practicing online, you're not 100% sure everyone's completely listening. You're not sure everyone's taking everything in. If I'm there as I'm the in-game leader, I want the guys, when I see a mistake after the game, I want them sat next to me. I want them watching. I know they've taken it in, and I can say, you're not going to make this mistake again. I can see it in your eyes. You're listening to me. And that's, I know it's actually going into their skull.
Yeah, I think you touched on something, a key differential between the two, is just that the team house versus the boot camp. I guess if it's boot camp, it's 1 week only.
Yeah.
You come in, you're all focused on the same objective. When it's a daily thing, maybe that's more the issues that I spoke of.
I did it once at CGS, and I will put it on the record, it actually ended up in an actual physical fight. It actually does happen. It can collide.
You lost the fight, didn't you?
I wasn't in the fight. I was a spectator.
Of course,
I was trying
that
to
makes
make it
perfect sense.
But it just shows you how much the tension can rise when you have bad games and stuff like that.
I knew you'd be the type to throw me under the bus.
Physical altercations can happen. It can be too much, especially for five young guys in the same house in very small rooms playing a very stressful game. It can be too much for sure. And something I would never try and put myself in again.
Just to clarify, Counter-Strike was the game Henry was playing with 5 guys in that house. But
just to make sure everyone knows, you know. But here we go, another pause then. This is the last game of the day, Matthew.
It is, and it's been a good start to the tournament. I think most things have been, I don't want to say predictable. I mean, the Liquid over Envious, a lot of people might not call that. I actually am not surprised by that one. I'm still not convinced by Envious's form.
When I saw them in E-League...
That's the thing, because Kenny went off.
Yeah, and we've got Devil calling as well. And I thought, okay, they found some form here. They found some structure. Devil has been allowed to do what he wants. It's his game now. Yeah, right? And I thought, okay, this is looking really promising. He's actually fragging as well. Instead of just being last every single game, he's actually looking very strong against VP. But coming into this one, they actually go 5-1 on Train, and then they end up losing 16-7. That's very disappointing. I actually predicted them to win that group. And for me, that was a little bit lackluster. I'm not really sure what happened there. It looked like they couldn't really ever get going. Lots of force buys, and Yeah, I would agree with you, though. So far, so good in day one. It seems like the results, apart from that one, that's the obvious one, going as we predicted. We are back into this one, though. 2-0. FaZe Clan with the upgraded pistols and body armor. Didn't decide to get any extra grenades, just AZ with the flashbang. Looks like a full-on B rush. Why not? It's going to be Rain to get the first kill here. They've got a chance to actually answer back. It's going to be Olofmeister with that Mach 10 to bring it down to a 4-on-4, and they will be committing at this stage.
Flash in does blind up Rain temporarily, and that causes a bit of panic because he fires at his teammate, realizes his mistake, and still gets punished for it as he goes down inside of the site. AZ catches Flush. It is a man advantage right now coming in the way of FaZe as they drop that bomb on the cross, but B-site still in the possession right now of Olaf on the Mach 10. Kiyoshima going to try and take advantage of that at window, but it's a Molotov to deny that position, but he's already forward of it. He could have caught Olaf off. Good position to turn back, good awareness to turn back because he's lost his teammate in Kiyoshima. Or rather, excuse me, in Dennis, and now it's just he inside of the site, gets caught by Jacob, so a good response from FaZe early on.
Now, Matt, you know I have two pet hates in this game. One of them is force buying me, you don't have to, and one of them is just rushing B on anti-ego situations in big games and huge tournaments. It's the biggest tournament we do. And that's the tightest choke point on pretty much all of the maps. Rushing B, that tiny little tunnel coming out there. They didn't really use any grenades either. Full on B rush. You've got Mach 10s to actually engage in those initial long-range battles when you first meet the CTs there. They've got Desert Eagles. You know they've set upgraded pistols. That's a questionable call, in my opinion. We know Fnatic like to be a little bit loose and trying to surprise the CTs, but that's a horrible decision, in my opinion. And they actually drop that round. FaZe fight back here. We go into round number 4, and there's an AUG out for Kiyoshima. He's trying to mix things up. We haven't seen one of those in a long time, I have to say. Krieg is starting to sneak his way into the game, but definitely not the AUG. And there's some aggressive play towards the tunnels as well.
Yeah, the first bullet accuracy at long A could be an advantage on this map with that weapon, but in the hands of Kiyoshima right now,
just to reiterate,
at B.
It's definitely a viable weapon. I'm not saying it's not. It's just very unorthodox, for sure. It cost you a little bit of extra cash, and that's obviously a huge problem on the CT side, as we discussed in Cobalt. I'm not going to get into that again. But,
yeah, well, it totally, that's the thing. No one justifies the money because they oftentimes find themselves to be sufficient enough with the other option, the alternative, the M4. But again, in this game, the first bullet accuracy does favor the AUG over a long distance, as with the Krieg with the AK.
Yeah, it doesn't drop off as much as the M4. But then anyway, it's going to be Fnatic. They have got control of short. Of course, they had tons of cash from the last round with those Mach 10s. It's going to be AWP in the hands of Olofmeister, 4 AKs, and here comes the execution.
So smokes, multiple smokes out, flashes as well. JW going to be the one to try and go for the drop down. It's Rain that's waiting for him. In fact, Flush is going to go with him. So down through, a little bit of a misdemeanor as they fire at each other. That lets Rain walk through. Careless check towards CT. That's the position you have to win on the drop as they try and overwhelm long. They will get there eventually, but Rain does massive damage to keep this into a 3-on-3 situation and allow the retake to be a possibility, as Rain and AZ both have kits as well. Crims, though, the timing could be everything. He's already cleared out long cave. He knows they're not coming that direction. He's going to try and wrap around. All they have to do is contain them onto this catwalk. Nade in, damage done, and Crims is going to arrive. Slows it just in time so as not to be heard. They've made it through the smoke, but he's still hot on their heels. 1 kill for him. Dennis finds the other, and Crims follows it up, finding Rain at the elevator.
Big round for Fnatic to win after you lose 1 and the CTs fight back. If you get that round after that, it's a full reset. The money's okay for FaZe right now after they did win the round with the pistols, but it's definitely not a full buy. You can see Kiyoshima, Jacob, and Rain, they are struggling. There's our 2 players with weapons. They're going to go all in. That's surprising for me, but I guess at this point they want to fight back. They don't want to let this loss bonus affect them too heavily. See if they can. It's easy with the AWP, interesting enough. Let's see what he can do. I think it's almost guaranteed he'll go for the mid phase at the start. Smoke goes in. Let's see whether he goes for it. Actually, a little bit more conservative, straight towards B.
And likely to the back of the platform. Very least on the platform itself, but Olaf starts things off. Pick it long onto Fox. Falls away from this as well, so that Jacob, who is up close with the pistol, can't do anything to try and take him down to redeem that. Which does make it now a man advantage for Fnatic. Kiyoshima and AZ both outside of the B side as well, so AZ's walked out to a position where he can try and fire up mid and utilize that AWP, knowing that there's been a pick on A and no information gained on B.
When we talk about this map, when you lose that first pick, especially the CD team, someone needs to be making something happen. So far, hasn't really come into fruition. You can see Jacob, he's towards long by himself, so that's, I guess, the play right now. Rain's falling back to the A-bomb site, but they're going to be struggling, as you can see Terrace walking out towards middle, getting so much out of this. No one contesting them whatsoever, so they can make a ton of calls there. Maybe smoking off towards spawn, or they can even split A through that site. We'll see what they decide to do. It looks like a B split will be coming in, as that's where the bomb is currently sat, and Crim's waking up to do as well.
Olaf nearly getting the shot onto Keo as he spots him jumping. Close through the door. They have to play these close positions. They have to play these close angles. Kiyoshima with just the pistol, and Rain limited inside of middle right now due to both flames and smoke. Typically They do go hand in hand, but no vision, no gain. It's Kiyoshima to get a trade. Takes down Olaf Meister, but Jacob lost. They can rotate back through middle. And as they do, Reigns just arriving from CT, so not the best position. Spots the head, though, does land one, but traded out by Flusha. That drops bomb, easily recoverable. GW on 9 HP, but a man advantage. Again, Fnatic, though, they've made this interesting.
At this point, they've got 2 AWPs. They haven't got the kits or utility. You can see one player without armor as well. Let's save these orbs. Let's look to the future here. That round was going to be very unlikely. That retake was almost impossible. So I think this is the right call. Save the AWPs. It's difficult call to make, but they're going to be going towards that B site and just making sure they stay alive. Kiyoshima just seeing if anyone's going to be hunting them down. That's a pretty safe angle, to be fair. But that got interesting. We saw Fnatic walking out towards middle. Kiyoshima takes down Olaf Meister with that CZ and picks up another orb. AZ didn't really have any impact there. I'd preferred him to maybe be a little bit more aggressive instead of just getting towards the B site. Here we go, and the Hunter's on. They know the orbs have been saved, and Kyo needs to be very careful there. Looks like Crims will be bowing out of the fight. A pretty clean round there for Fnatic, all things considered. Took advantage of that long spawn they had. Olaf Meister with the orb gets the first kill, slow things down. No real reaction coming from the CTs, but this is a perfect scenario for them. But the money still is in tatters. This could be almost detrimental to them, you know, because it's tempting to force buy up in these situations. You have 2 orbs, you want to complement them with some upgraded weapons, but they just need to let their economy recover at this point.
I mean, to come away with that with 2 AWPs, considering they were limited to pistols and multiple cases, that's a pretty good situation for FaZe. But we did talk about this as well on Cobblestone. It never actually happened. As you would say, never came to fruition. The 3-1 reset, and Fnatic's now achieved that, so these ops are huge. AZ out middle, tries to find a fast peek, falls away, doesn't get any information on that, and no one from Fnatic came down the stairwell quickly. Dennis just doing so now.
This will just be a classic round of CS at this point. Default into a short control, execute onto the bomb, so they know the AWPs are available for the CTs. Just don't make them a problem for yourselves whatsoever. You'll see smokes towards CT spawn, towards the crossover, flash through. That's going to be the main objective at this point. At this stage, it's getting real estate. Flashing the orbers back, trying to work out whether they are aggressive. And you see players in lower B. He's been flashed in by his teammates. AZ, though, he has to make something happen. He actually got boosted up for short at the start of the round, but so far, can't spot anyone.
JW, flash out for himself, forces AZ back in towards CT, and that now gives him cat control, like you say, so standard defaults, trying to just take map away from the CTs, force them back, another flash, same objective, same success as Jacob's forced to drop down from cat.
Textbook stuff so far. All the flashes landing, and this is the execution I'm talking about. This is what it leads up to. The smoke JW has in his hand right now, that's towards CT spawn, and this is going to be the execute. I kind of speculated before, take the orbs out of the game. You could always fake this as well. You don't have to commit to it. Let's see what they decide to do.
Crims at long indicates they're likely going to go on this because he'll just wait to anchor the position. Good shot from AZ to start it off, though. That's one of the AWPs still with vision. He's got 2. He can spoil this round for Fnatic as he finds Dennis a 3rd. And a 4th for AZ as he jumps over and finds Flusha. You said limit the ops, not AZ. He gets explosive and a round stolen from Fnatic.
I think they're actually a little bit too tentative in their approach there. I don't think they had any flashbangs remaining when they actually went to the site. That was perfect. They get all the control, they get towards short, the smokes come in, but you need flashbangs. The flashbangs need to come over. You can't allow AZ to have that sort of vision when he's on the A side. That's insane. How clean was that? They just had 2 orbs. That was it.
As Alex said, he is amazing, but I would say AZ's crazy. That's how puns are done. Better. But 4-2 now, FaZe with 4 kills on the back of a double op save from the previous round. That's a round stolen, literally, from Fnatic.
You can see, look at their utility on this replay right now. No flashes available. I think they realized once they've done the smoke, okay, we're committed now. We're going to have to just go in and hope he misses the shots. That wasn't meant to be. It was a great approach. Just didn't have enough to work with there, unfortunately, Fnatic. Perfect up until that moment. Well then, FaZe do find some footing now. 4-2, and it is going to be a force buy from Fnatic once again. Is trying to shut them out after they win 1 round. They want to try and lock it out. Don't let anything build up. Dennis on the scout. He's joined by 3 AKs and an Olaf Meister Galil. More of a default here. Maybe a long retake coming in, judging by the positions of the map so far.
Kiyoshima and AZ inside of B. Kiyoshima this time on the AWP rather than AZ, who did get those 4 kills. He's gone over to the rifle, so interesting team call on this play from FaZe. Obviously some comfort in their positioning and a plan in their mind, otherwise AZ wouldn't elect to go to the AK. Reigns in CT, waiting for the push through, not boosted on the box, but in behind the firebox. So we'll see if that's Molotov'd off smoke at the very least you'd expect, and there it is from Fnatic. as they start to try and work onto this B side. Dennis late to tunnels. They're going to pinch, though. Kiyoshima, he's the only one here. Hits the shot up close. Tries to go for the repeat onto JW, but gets taken down. And Rain late to try and accomplish anything at middle. Gets caught by Flusha. B's given up.
Well, that's the round. That's the dream scenario for Fnatic. They're going for that B split. It works out once again. It's such a huge round for them to win, as I mentioned before. After recovering from that, it wasn't even a force by those saved AWPs. This is the full reset once again. Having a look at the CT money, I think they're okay for another buy. What do they get? They get $1,400 next round. They need to save these two weapons to make it actually an opportunity for themselves. So Fnatic need to decide whether they want to go on the hunt. Judging by that money as well, it's a high-risk maneuver for them as well. So I think at this point, CTs will be saving the weapons. Pretty clean stuff for Fnatic. Only dropped one player. That's Olaf Meister. And Fox and Jacob saving the weapons right now. We'll have a look at the scoreboard as well. Fox yet to frag. He's on 0 for 4 right now. We kind of speculated his impact he could actually have. But the hunt is on. The terrorists are opting to try and find something out of this. Jacob just not even going to be challenging. You can hear footsteps beneath him, but trying to stay alive at this point. It looks like he will do as well. So, Orb saved, AK as well. The money's not too bad, so the fact they've saved those weapons as well actually helps balance the books a little bit there, and they will get a pretty reasonable buy going into this one. It's round number 8, but Fnatic, the difficult buy last round of the Scout and Galil, they actually are looking to be firing on all cylinders this one. JW on the Orb as well. It's going to be Fox on the other side. Let's see what he can do here. This is one of the first time we've actually seen him with the Orb so far. Let's see if he can actually do anything with it.
He's going to be playing it out toward A fast with Jacob there to support. No one peeking aggressively so far from Fnatic's side. Set for smokes on corner, though, and Dennis at the first set of doors, likely to be the one to push through if utility is expended on this position. That'll slow it as the smoke comes out from Fox. Any execution they intended to do would be thwarted by that. Well, that doesn't seem to discourage Olaf. Why would it? It's him, of course, as he goes through, and exactly that. The headshot from the King as he takes down Jacob inside a pit. Flush up close to the doorway, flash through this time onto Rain. They won't push this time, but they've got long control. 4 players out. Fox doesn't even consider staying at the car, or even further still on the platform with the AWP. Now this is interesting because now that they've controlled long, they've left JW here with the AWP. The other 3 can go back to try and take over Catwalk, potentially middle, and this AWP is in a great position to try and catch them off on A.
Yeah, this is a perfect start to round for Terror's side. You go for the long control, you've taken vision away from that corner as well, you've segregated Jacob in the pit, he's gone down. You have taken a lot of damage here, but at this point, it's up to the CTs to make the next move. This is it right now. Fox pushing off towards short. He knows he needs to buy the kill where he should get it as well. There it is. Takes the bomb down as well. I have to say, that's a bit sloppy from Fnatic, facing that angle without a teammate to back him up, but still, and we'll be the 4-on-4 now. But interesting enough, we do have that long pincer coming in.
Dennis is creeping slowly up toward the car. Just needs to find the shot on Fox, but the problem is that AZ's the one directly facing against him, and Molotov out. That's going to tell Fox there's people here, but he goes down. He's got nowhere to hide. He can't drop into the flames. AZ's left alone down below. It's Rain to get the shot over his shoulder. They've tapped away on JW, but it left Fox nowhere to hide, and Flusha, interestingly enough, just drops down again. They've done that drop position wrong. They can't find the kill in CT, and they lose a man. They're down a man in the post plant.
Wasn't required. There's a 3-on-3. They're going to have the long plant there as well. They got the AWP in the pit. Now they've got the man disadvantage with low HP as well. That just wasn't a kill that had to be given away.
And this is where Fnatic, they overextended at ECS. They might have done it here in this round. Kiyoshima takes Olaf Meister. The man who got long early is the last alive, and JW is 16. He hits the second shot. Missed the first, though, and that proves costly because it allows Kiyoshima to get up on top of the platform and Rain to get ever closer. So 5-3 now.
You could see what Flusha was trying to do there. Obviously, there's a lot of attention from JW towards the crossover, so he was hoping to get the drop on him there, but for me, he didn't know what was below. He didn't know if there was 1 player down there, there was 2. It was a very risky maneuver for him. 3 versus 3. You've got the bomb down towards long. You've got an AWP in the pit as well. You need to buy that AWP time. Give them an opportunity, so it's so uncomfortable with CTs when they're retaking. They're actually focusing on the bomb more than trying to get the kills. You saw they had a lot of time to play with that. 3 versus 1. He's low HP. Stay together. Hit the shots. It was fine. Had Flusha stayed alive, he could hold towards short. He could be making them really uncomfortable as they're trying to get up through the ramp as well, but there we go then. It's going to be FaZe getting round number 3, but once again, haven't got any consecutive rounds here in the first half.
Krim's already out at the bottom of the spiral staircase, clearing every possible angle in case anyone wants to get aggressive on this CT side from FaZe. It's Jacob and Rain again out toward long. Fox, top of the CT ramp, waiting for information, but no one in middle.
This is the kind of rounds we were talking about before. Sticking together as a unit and is going into bomb sites and is forcing a way in with the brutal firepower they have. Can Kiyoshima hold them off?
Oh, it is Kiyoshima. That does bait them in. He gets 2, but only 2. They lose 1 more, and finally Flusha wins the drop late. That's going to cut off Fox. The AWP player goes down. It's still only a man advantage, but it's the positioning that really reigns supreme right now for Fnatic, because Flusha, he's distracting Rain. Jacob has to go help him. This buys more space, gives them the information as to where they are, and Flusha goes further than that. He gets a further kill. Jacob gets the trade, sure, but again, Fnatic has all the awareness they need. They have the perfect read on exactly what's going on in the round, and there is a kit on Jacob, but it's so hard to find a pick inside of this B site.
Yeah, he's got 1 flashbang, a crossfire of 2 Fnatic players as well, Dennis and JW. As soon as he gets 1 kill, if he does get that, it should be punished straight away. He won't even get the 1 kill, but there it is. Fnatic, we said before we entered this game, Matt, they're one of those teams that don't really play by the rules. They don't do defaults every single time. They're more than happy just to go over a bit of a Hail Mary play, 4 out towards middle, straight at the beginning of the round, smoking off towards short, and then they've got 1 player lurking towards that kind of catwalk area as well. As soon as they've taken all the attention and given away to B attack, he's just sitting out for footsteps. It's going to be fast rotations from the CTs. They can't really see too much. He comes in the back, he gets 1 or 2, and that's a dream round. And once again, FaZe are not building up rounds together. They keep winning 1 round and losing. You only get $1,400 in the next round, and that's evident from this one. It's going to be PT50's, Desert Eagle and Kiyoshima. An almost guaranteed round here for Fnatic, unless there was some sort of horrible blunder. This could be it, as Dennis does get a headshot, but he does do a ton of damage.
But okay, sure, you could argue he got it on the 2 players, which makes it easier to take them down, and that's exactly what happens for Flusha, but he goes down to 5 himself and likes to fade away, smartly so. Jacob's still on 37 out of all of this. Fnatic finally with a chance to bring it up to a 7th round.
Yeah, almost certainly. This one, the CT setup, it's not really going to amount to too much. You've got AZ in the mid doors, Jacob at the car, and Kiyoshima in B. It's not like they've got any sort of repack potential. It's going to be hoping they take 1 kill down and get a $300 for their troubles. They're not going to be able to save a weapon. 5 on 3. But Fnatic, this is more discipline now. Not giving anything away. Still have a minute to play with. You don't have to force yourself in a situation. You don't have to go for a rush B. You just hold up, stick together, and make sure you're not dropping any economy here. We'll have a look at the money for FaZe as well. I don't think they can buy next round, you know, Matt. They're going to have $1,900. It will be a really weak buy if they were to do it. I think they can probably get like M4s, no nades, or Famases and a few smokes. That'd be about it. There is all potential, I think, on Jacob if he gets a kill.
Tries to do the cheeky spot behind the flames of the car, but that's spotted. I like to wait to try and let them get closer as well to do maximum damage, but it's on the Kiyoshima 1 versus 5.
Good luck. Oh, you can hear footsteps coming in from City Spawn. Oh my God, that's a lovely shot from Kiyoshima. Looking to get 2, but not going to be, this time will be 7-3. And like I said, the money, they will be clutching at straws here. Definitely no double AWP, it's just Jacob. He's got 5K, he can bring out the glass cannon here, but they need to decide, do they take the risk here and allow their economy just to go out of control at this point? They force into this one, it's very unlikely they win the round. But let's see what they bring to the table. They will be forcing it, so it'll be 2 Famases, 3 M4s, no kits. And this is the round we need to see something a little bit more dynamic, Matt. That's what we haven't seen so far. We haven't seen a 2-man push into B tunnels. We haven't seen anyone smoking up towards middle and going for that first pick. Someone needs to step up this round. They are going to be boosting up towards short from what I can see. So we'll see what this works out for them.
Olaf going to play the left side of the B tunnels in case anyone pushes through, as they elect to leave Dennis on the staircase in the B tunnels.
They're actually boosting up towards City Spawn. This is actually a spot where Rain is right now. I'm going to chuck them in. This is what AZ used to be so famous for in Dignitas. He used to be complete wreck people in his position. It means that the mid splits are a massive problem for you. You can stand up, look over that smoke, but it's so commonly pre-fired now. It's not really viable. We'll see whether we can do anything with it.
The Molotov, if thrown correctly, can actually reach you up there, which is a huge problem as well.
It's very rare this works anymore, but tough times. Let's see what we can do with it.
Yeah, desperate times call for desperate measures. Remember, FaZe, if they can't pull back this deficit, if they do drop this map, we'll go into an elimination match against G2.
This will be an A fake from what I can see. You can see the bombs down in lower B. They have a player in T-spawn as well. I think they're trying to sell an AXQ at this stage. Smokes go over, flashes. We've seen this before. We see how it stepped up with the CTs, and now they will be rotating back towards maybe more middle. And
JW again, though. That's going to start to be so frustrating. He and Flusha, every time they've gone down, Rain has played it very well. He usually sits inside of the smoke. So he loses that duel. Good trade, though, by Dennis, as they wanted to go out middle late. Kiyoshima left in the sight. Last alive. Needs to be careful not to expose himself to tunnels, but a smoke there is going to give him the coverage, and he'll take down Flusha. Allow AZ to step into the picture. Yes, I've joined from stage left, and I will take the final curtain because the crossfire works, and Olaf goes down.
Yeah, very nice stuff. It all came down to that initial kill from Rain. They read it nicely. He knew that'd be a possibility. He's been finding frags in that position. And we saw it building up. When the bomb was down lower B, we knew that'd be a bit of a fake. It's a good call from Fnatic, mixing things up. They've done the execute a few times now, with reasonable success. Sometimes the flashbangs didn't work out too well. This time, it's just one player getting on spawn. He got punished. That gave the call it's actually going to be a B-side attack. Kishima, he's been strong in B so far, finding 1 or 2 kills consistently, and they actually have quite a clean round here. Not finding consecutive rounds just yet, but the money is good going forward.
So Dennis this time trying to watch down middle with that AWP. Couldn't find anyone crossing to at least fire at. JW limited to a Tech 9, keep in mind, as Kiyoshima again inside of the B site, starts off strong, takes out Olofmeister. And just to keep track of the king, he's 6 for 8 right now. It's Crims and Flusha on 9 kills apiece that lead the way for Fnatic. So obviously eyes on Olaf for obvious reasons coming back from injury.
Sure.
Won't read too much into that scoreline just yet, but something to take note of over the course of the entire event, perhaps.
The long retake does come in, and it's not going to work out too well. It's JW with the bomb as well as a bomb drop, and it's going to be, okay, decent reply there from the terrorists. I thought the CTs were going to capitalize in this situation, but now a 2-on-2. They do manage to recover the bomb as well. A ton of damage done towards Fnatic. They can see Flusha and Crims both feeling the pain a little bit. They have got the AWP in Flusha's hands, but this is a good rotation. Look at AZ coming in the back here from T-spawn.
This is actually really good through Suicide as well. He's going to be facing them in the choke point. There's no way for them to get out and try and control the peak themselves. It makes Flusha go back the other way. He has to go to the A side. Kiyoshima in the open. Oh, nearly takes Flusha down, but 19 HP. It leaves him alive with an AWP. And tagged up on the jump. Slows his movement speed. 6 HP. Fires into it. Molotov out. Has the bomb, keep in mind, needs to try and plant this down or FaZe can get back into the 5th round. It's 7 rounds only for Fnatic. It's a decent accomplishment considering where we sat just 2 rounds ago. Jumping up, nearly gifts Flusha. Just misses him off to the right, and it's going to be a second shot again. Kiyoshima escapes death.
A little bit too close for my liking there. Jumping shots towards the A-bomb site are certainly a thing that occurs, and Flusha this time not getting any luck, but that's the first time we've actually seen FaZe get 2 rounds in a row. They keep 2 players alive and an AWP as well, so finally a chance to dig their heels in here and get back into this one. It's 7-5, the scoreline's not too bad, just they haven't been able to control the money situation, but finally I think they have broken Fnatic. That bomb going down gives them an extra $800 per player. That's all really Flusha wanted to go for there. Had the opportunity to hit a couple of those shots, could have worked out. But it looks like maybe a full eco coming in this time. Nothing purchased so far, but here's the Desert Eagles. So it will be not even the partial buy. No, okay, it will be. Armor comes in as well. Late buy. 1 smoke, I guess that's for CT spawn. We'll see what they decide to do. B splits have been very effective so far.
But they have Kiyoshima, AZ, and Fox as well on the B side of the map. Fox watching mid this time. This is a bit of a change from FaZe. So as you say, the B rushes have been effective. Well, there's more defense there this time around. Fox fires a shot. AWP toward the door, doesn't land.
Yeah, Fox having a tough time right now. He's 1 for 9. Hasn't really got started here in the major. We'll see if he can step up. Definitely a controversial player, I'd say. A lot of the analysts, I'd say, point him out and follow his performance.
A lot of the analysts, or just one in particular?
Well, you know.
They are a group. We lump them together now.
Exactly.
They're all responsible for each other. As Flusha and Dennis now with Deagles up toward Catwalk. Fox going to play from car. No support system just yet inside of that CT. Rain has actually just got rotated back around, just gotten in there. And he's picked up the first kill at mid as well, so he'll be able to cover off the drop. Very hesitant from Fnatic in this approach. Jacob anchoring long, excuse me. Very slow, no utility. Far too easy for Fox in the first shot.
Yeah, this will help build his confidence. Should be easy shots here. It looks like they will be committing to it. There's to be Flusha remaining, and there it is. A nice clean round there for FaZe. Finally, keeping all five players alive here. Round number 13 comes in their favor. We've got 2 more to go. And the money's looking better for Fnatic, but they don't think hit the AWP unless they want to go glass cannon. I don't think that's going to be effective at this point. Keep the 5 AKs alive, have the smokes, the Molotovs to actually execute here, and we'll see what they decide to do. Those nice, fast, snappy rounds are actually working out very well for them. I'd like to see more of that stuff. I think that was pretty cool. But JW, interesting enough, he's gone for the glass cannon. I didn't see that coming. I thought they'd try and just keep a focus on the utility and the executions, and they've been struggling without the flashbangs to actually finish them off. So maybe a B rush. 4 players towards B tunnels. What is this?
Easy gonna face this as well. Kiyoshima, they do it together. 2-man out, no one peeking. Already JW crossed over with the AWP, and when they face no utility, it's Dennis to get 1. AZ tries to spray down 2. And refaced in the end by 3. So Olaf comes out on top with the trade. That opens the B site. Flusha late in mid. It's Fox above him on Catwalk that has the chance to try and cut him off, spots him on the jump. He's in the open, and Fox takes him down, but not before losing his teammate. And that is actually crucial because it could have left them in a 3-on-3 on retake. Kits on all 3. It's now 2 to get back in the B site. And Crims has smoke on the doorway. Molotov from Rain to try and flush them back toward platform. It never really reaches its intended target. So desperation seeps in as he tries to spray through the smoke. They've split this. It's Fox toward tunnel. He'll catch JW. That'll give the opening to Rain, but watch Crim's position. Very close. Smoke out. That gives Rain an entrance. They've gotten down Olaf. Suddenly, Crims has to play this correctly, and he's trying to use their own smoke against them. He's going to try and wrap around them. They're on the defuse. He's got one, but he needs to find the spray down. Rain's going to get the defuse just barely. We're back on 7-7.
Just when we call Fox out, he steps up tremendously there. What a retake. Up against it there. FaZe coming in from the tunnels. Fox finds 3. We talk about Crims all the time, how clever he is, how cerebral he is in those situations. He pushes through the door, times it to perfection as well, but fortunately for the CT set, the smoke gives Rain just enough time to get that full defuse in. It's a huge round for them to win, and it actually gives them a huge leg up into this series so far. We're going to round number 15 now, Matt. We can see the auto sniper comes out. It always is towards the end of the game that well, the end of the half, I should say, when we see it come out. But for me, it's not so great on Dust2. We'll see what Kirishima brings to the table here. Decent incendiary from Rain, and JW gets the first frag.
Fox does get one back, though. Jacob flashed out no man's land. Dennis had no idea where he was. Crims is there, though, to answer the call. But if it's a 3 versus 3, you look to HP, and that does not favor Fnatic, as JW has a mere 1 to work with at AK-47, and Fox is going to watch toward that long corner like a hawk as the smoke comes out and covers off CT. That should indicate they want to wrap around. It's JW, in some ways, thankfully, that takes that first thought bullet, because he can be the sacrificial lamp on one lamp. You be a sacrificial lamp too, Henry, if you get angry and throw it across the room. But he should be the one to go down with that 1 HP. It gives him the information, but unfortunately, it's not enough. And Kirishima, they pull this back from 7-3 to 8-7, and FaZe takes the lead.
The last 5 rounds, they really stepped up there. We called out Fox, and I think he must have heard us, because he seemed to play out of his mind in his last couple of rounds there as well. Very important ones. They actually win the half. It looked so promising for Fnatic. At one point, it was, what, like 8-3 in their favor? Oh, sorry, 7-3 in their favor, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, FaZe just win 5 rounds in a row towards the end. Very impressive stuff from them, and they've actually got an opportunity to win this game now. That's kind of nuts. We thought this would be almost certainly going in the favor of Fnatic, which I still believe will be the case, but FaZe Clan winning a half, that's definitely a good start here. And they lost a pistol as well, Matt, so that's pretty impressive, you have to say. Seem quite high spirits as well.
I mean, winning the pistols, one thing. We'll see if they can do that twice, though. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, it's the second half of Game 2, Group D. Look back at the first half of what has been a good response from FaZe. You said it, Henry, not winning that pistol, getting 8 rounds total, and coming back from a 7-3 deficit to do so.
Yeah, very, very impressive stuff that it shows. They've got great mental fortitude here. Normally, like a team like FaZe would expect them to crumble against someone like Fnatic. As soon as they start losing like that, they would never get back into it. But so far, very impressive, I have to say. If they win this pistol, they have a real chance of actually taking this one. So we'll see the buys coming in now. Fnatic switching over to the CT side. Unfortunately for FaZe, we've got Dennis, the world's best USP player.
And a lot of the comeback did stem from the economy building up, sure, as well on the CT side for FaZe, but it also goes to the AWP in that sense. And Fox, you said, was 1 for 9. He's 8 for 10 at the end of that half. He was big in the last bit of that.
Especially in that retake towards Pete, that was crazy. 3 kills, and actually around, it looked like Fnatic had completely tied up here. But let's get into the pistol. Nothing really too exciting to report just yet. FaZe in a full default, seeing if there is that kind of favored aggression we normally talk about. The CD pistol boosting up towards short. Rain actually boosted it in the long doors. That's a new one. Very defensive setup.
Yeah, very much so. If anyone pushes through, he'll be primed and ready to take them down. Glock in hand. We didn't mention it, but the utility player is going to be AZ this time around. Kit for Crims. Nade as well. And very slow approach so far. Minute and 10 still to work with, so lots of time, but very slow approach for a pistol round. Normally we see very fast, aggressive pistol rounds on Dust2.
Well, that's what the FaZe are expecting right now. They're seeing whether anyone will push up towards middle. They're going to wait, bide their time, and it's looking like they will be coming in towards mid right now. Flashbang to take away anyone towards middle. Is push with the doors right now, and there's the Xbox smoke coming in as well. Oh, it's actually straight towards the doors. That's I'd assumed he'd be going for Xbox in that position, but just wants to stop the potential, I guess, of a CT pushing through as they go up.
And check the boost on the way by, just on the off chance that they are trying to use it. Fnatic, flush it down in CT. It's JW that should have the first shot toward this catwalk position. Crims coming back down, but Rain's wrapping it long. That's going to expose both players, both he and JW, so Crims has to win this duel. Doesn't. There it is. JW left in the open. He's dropped as well. Good picks, from Rain as it takes them down to a 4 versus 2, and Olaf on Dennis forced to go for the retake. It's Olaf that gets there first. He's not even going to wait for Dennis to try and jump up the Xbox right now. 3 players trapped on top of the site for FaZe. They've got Rain way down toward that long pit. He can just sit and read the obituary and see if in the news he's required. He's certainly not. Jacob and Fox do all the work instead.
Well, that's the biggest scalp to take at the end there. Dennis, he only finds 1 kill, as I briefly mentioned before. When he's on the CT side in the pistol round, anything can happen, but very disciplined approach from FaZe, holding it up for a long time in the start. Got Fnatic second guessing and wondering what was going on there. Nice ace play comes in, perfect timing. The player's up towards short, took all the attention away from that A-bomb side. Rain comes in, he's got no contention towards that area, and he finds 2 nice kills from long range with the Glock as well. It's difficult to do, but you could see how stifled the CTs were on the bomb site here. And interesting enough, Fnatic aren't going to force buy on the second. They're going to look for having more utility, having the AWPs available. So boosting up towards short, just some upgraded pistols here. A couple of HE grenades as well. Prim's not overcommitting just yet, and you can see another very slow-paced round from FaZe. They want to make sure they win these rounds. No rushing B, no antics like that. They're sticking together and having a good approach in terms of a default stance.
Smoke out on door late. As AZ gets ever closer with the UMP, and apparently too close for comfort to peek the corner of Cap, because Crims, it's a lovely shot with the Deagle. Olaf, slight confrontation with Kiyoshima over toward the B tunnels. That'll just serve to provide information to either side. Whether or not that information is useful at this point, yet to be determined. Now, the interesting thing is, look at this aggressive play inside middle rift right now from Dennis and JW. Rain's going to rotate late with a lot of noise down at mid. This should indicate that they're heading over toward the B tunnels. And are they going to try and catch them out with a push through? Well, not with that Molotov. Olaf spotted. Kiyoshima finds him on the entry. Knew he was off to the left the first time they spotted each other, and follows that up to take down Dennis. Good money gained from either kill. And no rotate, no flank coming in from them. Again, that Molotov thwarted the possibility of doing so. So Fox just executes one. JW low, can't find him in the smoke. The bomb going down. It's FaZe again that should, I say should, close out the round.
Well, yeah, it should be over at this stage. You're absolutely right. It's going to be a 3 versus 2, unless it's some sort of godlike player with this P2000. It's a nice round from FaZe there. They lose the first kill. Unfortunate. It's not like every day Crim's going to hit shots like that. It's AZ going down first, but they approach it nicely. FaZe going into that B site, made sure there was no stack towards those B tunnels. Kiyoshima goes in first. It's the perfect weapon for the job as well. Mac 10, jump around the corners there, take the aim off the CTs are maybe waiting in some sort of stack. And as soon as he gets to come to the corner, he gets the kills. Farms the cash, $600 per kill with that weapon. And it's going to be 10-7 here. Fnatic should be on a full eco. I think Olaf Meister has invested in a UMP. That's an interesting decision. What's he hoping to do with this weapon, Matt?
Win.
Yeah, that normally
kills.
That's yeah. I guess that is obviously the end goal of every round. So a UMP, some silent USBs. It's just it's not going to win in the round. Is my point I'm making here, right?
Certainly not with that coming in. Look at the entrance at long. I totally get what you were saying. I was kind of being a little bit
Facetious.
Facetious, yes, very much so. But yeah, I mean, if you could pick up a kill or two with it, he does bring back the investment, but he's, with no kills going their way at all, allowed the economy to build up on FaZe's side, and he's done nothing good for himself moving into this first gun round. He's left with 3950.
Sub 4K, that means you really are struggling. He will get, he gets the farmers. Someone like his caliber, it's not a huge deal, but certainly not ideal in any sense. JW on the glass cannon as well, so not investing fully into that second round. They're still not in an amazing position, but I guess they have got the double orb set up there. That's something worth of note. That's actually, when they're at their absolute strongest, I think most teams are always aiming for this setup on Dust2. That's why they didn't take the hit in the second round with that full investment. Go for this straight away and get the ball rolling, get that momentum back in their favor.
Jacob, quick peek down toward middle behind Xbox. Make sure no one's pushed through the double doors on the CT side, and no one has. As it's Dennis and Olaf in B. Flusha, CT playing the swing position with Crims at long and JW waiting at car with one of the two AWPs. The second of which, as you see in the overlay, is Dennis, as mentioned, in the B site. They're coming out mid quick, though. It's Flusha that finds one through the smoke. Olaf waits behind the box, and they've shut this down already. AZ needs to fight himself back into mid, and he's going to get caught out. Good rotation from Olaf, good read. But the op inside B has gone down, and Fox with bomb now has a chance to try and get this planted. And a plant would be good enough to at least keep their economy well and true for the next round, if not beyond that, as it's Fnatic desperate to win this first gun.
Yeah, well, here we go. The retake's on. If they can just find a couple more kills here, FaZe, that would be detrimental to the CTs going forward. The retake comes in, and they hold them off.
But they've got B. Good pick from JW. Better Molotov onto Rain. He'll only find one, and that's all he gets as he stays too long in the flames, too long in the heat, and Olaf will get the defuse on top of it. Now remember, this is the 3-1 start. We talked about it.
Yeah.
It is the potential reset against Fnatic very early on, and only 2 players surviving forces quite a bit of reinvestment out of their side. And in fact, thankfully, they've grabbed an AWP. In fact, kept both of them because they can't afford another. That's how low they are.
Yeah, well, that still boosts their chances a lot. Keeping the AWP setup strong. But FaZe Clan there, going towards B, 2 versus 3 at that point. They knew they'd probably win the round. If they can just find a couple of kills just to dent the economy further, that will be something to work with here. They've got so much money available. They've got the AWP out as well. Fox, he's actually caught up with his teammates as well. 11 for 11 for him. And we go to round number 20. Let's see if there is any contention towards middle at the start of the round. Not going to happen so far. It's going to be 3 players towards long from Fnatic. And another default stance from FaZe. He seems to be opting towards more of these default stances, taking away a little bit of vision there with the Xbox smoke. Flash comes in. I'm sure Jake can have a little face at this point. There it is. Just getting information. He knows there's no AWP there, so they could walk out if they wanted to.
Rain just waiting at long. Aggression on him as they've flashed Crims in between the doorways at the cave. And in fact, they're going to flash him all the way out. Very aggressive play, but that's what we talked about from Fnatic. Right at the start of this game, we said they are unorthodox. They will use utility to be overly aggressive on their CT sides, and Crims takes advantage of it. They win the duel at long. They get the man advantage. They get lots of information. And spotting someone coming through mid, well, this should indicate that they're, if not grouped for a default, over toward B. And with Kiyoshima putting a smoke out on the tunnels as well, good read for Fnatic.
We can see Fox now edging up towards middle. He's trying to get some into here, but just like I said, there's great use of the utility here, forcing him out. That more incendiary drops at his feet. It's going to slow him down now. Time is starting to tick away. And at this point, it's up for Fnatic to sit back on the bomb sides. Don't need to really force the situation. JW in a great position here. We can see FaZe do have they have got Molotov and a couple of flashbangs available. That one smoke towards CD spawn. I don't think this would be enough to stop JW though. Maybe a B split coming in here. You can see there are 2 players towards the tunnels area. I think they're just trying to show their hand towards A. Maybe drop AZ down, there it comes, and get towards B. If you can find a kill here, they're back into it.
Oh, they go again directly past. Same as what we saw in the first half a lot of the time when Jacob was playing here and AZ spots it up. How does he find that shot? It's Olaf to best him in the end, but that was an incredible display from AZ. Just the patience to win this out as Dennis finds one more with the AWP inside of B site. Fox tries in desperation to find another. Thankfully, his guardian angel from Jacob post-mortem gets 1 kill, and that'll allow his escape, but he's got to save this AWP.
Coming.
2 seconds, and they are coming. If he goes down post-round, it's going to be hugely problematic, and he will. Bomb drop doesn't even matter. Don't know why I'm mentioning that. More importantly, money gone.
Bomb drop, guys. And T-spawn.
Drop the bomb, Henry.
Drop the bomb. Coming soon. Anyway, 11-9. And it's going to be round number 21. That does affect Fox going forward. And he will only have a Glock if I assume he's been dropped a weapon. The money hasn't been too bad. But Fnatic there, they knew how valuable that kill was towards the end. Pushing through the smoke, that was Fox's only real escape strategy there. Didn't really have enough time to get out of it. AZ though, that kill once he dropped down, they lost the first frag. He needed to step up, and that was a good move, but...
Could you say that was a displazy if you were a machine?
You're wrecking him today. Yeah, that's much better. You've got all the puns. Well then, FaZe now was started so promising on the second half here on the terrorist side. There's starting to slip away now. 2 AKs and 3 pistols, and Fnatic just getting stronger. You can see they still have the single orb set up and Flusher with the MP9, but he can do some absolute magic with that weapon. So don't worry about that, Matt. He'll probably get some kills with it. I'm sure he'll be fine.
I wasn't worried, just to clarify. I'm a courageous person. I don't get scared easily. Except by you, Henry. As Flush awaits MP9 behind the smoke. Waiting for a push through, in fact, getting impatient. He's going to go for it himself. Sprays in, can't find. That's going to give away his position and the MP9 up close, but no one gets aggressive against it with just the pistols and only the 2 AKs. They can't afford to do so. Flusher doesn't spot them, it drops anyway. He should know that he's rotated back up that ramp, but he's got over to Goose undetected. And this could be the next best position for this MP9 if they don't flush him out, because if they go for a default cat plant, well, guess what's there to deny it? Best possible position to do so. Utility spent. Execution coming in. Flush is going to flash himself back into the play with JW's call, but missed shot from JW. AZ finds the kill, the drop down. That's going to take down the MP9 as well, as the Tech9 just absolutely wrecks them on the A site. Dennis left 1 versus 5.
You see how much more beneficial that AXQ is when you have flashbangs available? It just takes that split second away for the AWP has to take his vision off the catwalk area. They drop a player down, pins to the site, and the CTs had no response for that. That's how you should be doing it. That's what we lacked from Fnatic when they were trying to attack it themselves, but FaZe do it with just 2 weapons and 3 pistols there. That's pretty impressive. Keeping 4 players alive for now. And Dennis is cowering in the B side. It looks like he's going to be hunted as well, as Kiyashima is towards that tunnel area. Not sure if he'll commit to this just yet, but Dennis may just walk into his crosshair. I think he probably will.
Yeah, well, maybe not quite that easily, but definitely walks out and gives it up. FaZe comes straight back with another round, bouncing off of 2. And Fnatic don't have a lot of cash left over. In fact, not even above the 2K mark on 3 players. Olaf still struggling at 1650. They can hardly justify buying in pistols to level this out. And it's 12 rounds for FaZe already.
Some big plays here from AZ. Going in as the point man at these bomb sites time and time again and actually making the kills happen, finding multiple kills in most scenarios. And this is the full eco from Fnatic now. USPs across the board, just JW. And the PD1000, we'll see what they can do there. I think this is almost a guaranteed round for FaZe. That really does go without saying. But just trying to keep all 5 players alive at this point. Fast, long take. And JK, I'm sure, to get his first kill.
Okay, smart, but the smoke is making it hugely problematic. It's AZ instead that will go ahead and finish it off. Give them long control to work with. We talked about that establishment at long, how important it can be.
In these rounds, not so much, but obviously it's a great starting point to the round. You've got the first pick. You don't need to overcommit now. You've got Rain watching the flanks. They don't need to force it onto the side. There is a full eco, but just slow down. Wait for one more pick to come into you. Wait the CTs make the mistakes here. As you can see them trying to adjust himself now. Flusher pushes off towards short, and Dennis and Krim's waiting towards A and off in himself, by himself towards B. It's really nice stuff from FaZe. It's refreshing to see a team like this who are famous for making a lot of mistakes. Robin's obviously coming as the coach now, and I think he's having some positive influences on them. From what I've seen so far, they've actually changed their game.
The level head behind them. I mean, sometimes that's, even if the coach isn't the most intellectual or tactical coach, nothing against Robin in this case, but just as example, he's not as invested into the game or as, I guess, tunnel visioned into the game from one perspective. He could just be the voice of reason to tell them to slow things down.
Basically, the methodology behind CS never changes across all the iterations. The core fundamentals will always be the same. That's what he's just trying to bring to this team. He's got the skill here, they've got everything available, but he's just the one prodding them and making sure they don't make key mistakes and don't throw away rounds or necessarily unfortunate kills. So many kills, like every kill matters against Fnatic, right? If you give them anything to work with, they will definitely strike back. But they keep 5 players alive. It's a nice clean eco. They're not rushing it. They're not just going, let's just rush B, guys, hope for the best, like Fnatic were doing a couple of times, which was kind of strange. And now it's 13-9, and I think I heard a pause coming in.
We did. This is our first pause in all of Group D, considering the close game between SK and G2. If you didn't join us, SK will move into the upper bracket. The loser of this, well, they play against G2, and
I'd be interested to know who called this pause. If it was FaZe, I'd tip my hat to them. That's a really nice time to do a pause. And then the money's low for Fnatic, and they can actually work out what they're going to do. These are the kind of rounds that Fnatic are famed for winning, though, Matt. These big LAN games, every single time, you think you've got them, you've broken them down, and then some crazy CZ play from Dennis, or it's going to be flush over a shotgun or something like that, comes back and haunts you. If it is them calling the pause, which I doubt it, that would be really smart, but I'm assuming at this point it's going to be Fnatic just working out what their next move is.
So 13-9 in favor of FaZe. Dust2, money heavily favoring FaZe going into this round.
Yeah, for sure.
It was Fnatic, by the way,
okay,
according to the graphic.
Would have been really cool, though, from FaZe if they had done that. Like, just to show you how invested into this game and focused they want to be in these big rounds. But it will be Fnatic this time. So have a look at the money for them quickly. Fnatic, $3,500 on Olaf and Dennis. They're yet to buy. Flush has got a UMP. Crims gets an M4, 1 smoke. This is a chance now for FaZe. Imagine this. What an upset that would be, Matt. I don't think any analyst, we did a little article before this event. Everyone picked FaZe 4th place in this group. Can you imagine what an upset it would be? Come in the first game, they take down Fnatic.
And yes, okay, agree with you, and I would have agreed with you as well. But the one thing everyone did say is best of 1 format. That's where FaZe has a chance to try and be this upset.
I think we make these predictions without knowing the map. We know it's best of 1. It's a little bit of fun, but just to reiterate the point, and no one thought they had a chance here. Like, you're going up against the absolute heavyweights in the game right now. FaZe, I think they're like number 16th in the rankings. Right? They haven't performed at any real big events recently. They're coming in now at 13-9. They've got Fnatic on no money. 1 more round. That's going to be touching distance of taking this series. It's pretty exciting right now. The way they're playing the T side right now is not a bit lucky. They haven't been doing crazy clutches or any of their big players doing something wild. Just good CS so far. That's all they were lacking before. They didn't have that structure. And I'm impressed. I'm going to put it out there.
I have to say, Fnatic's certainly impressed.
Well, not sure.
Impressed by FaZe or unimpressed with themselves?
Yeah. Their T side, like, there was some problems there, like those big rounds they're throwing away, just trying to get the rounds over quickly, being a little bit disrespectful, and just trying to rush into certain situations. They're key rounds they've thrown away here, and they could come back to haunt them. Definitely not over yet. As I said, Fnatic, well known for winning these kind of rounds. Nothing to work with. So this time it's not as bad as we normally associate those kind of rounds, but it's UMP, a Famous, no kits, little nades. Let's see what they can do here. You'd assume it'd be more of the same from FaZe this round. Slow defaults. Let's work out what kind of buy they have, whether they are going aggressive, and this is very defensive. I like this boost coming in. All the way in T-spawn, boosting on the barrel. Just hiding in the bushes there. That's quite a nice little position. I haven't actually seen that in a professional level game
in a long time. I think we. Okay, well, I think it might have been a tier 2 game. I think we saw it at a minor.
This just shows you how much they want to win this. If they're going to push long, let's give them a 0% chance of getting this kill. We'll hold up for about 45 seconds here before we make our next move. Bleed out any utility they may have. You can see Dennis there. He's towards short. And I don't think they're really moving for some time just yet, but JW decides
these are the boosts that I like to do, because this way I can get cheap kills and make my score look better.
When was the last time you played CS? Was it when we got owned in London?
Yeah, but I carried, so...
Yeah, you carried. To be fair, that's when Anders really...
let us down.
I was about to say something else, but yes, that's a more polite way to say it.
Yeah.
Me and you, like, no one believed in you.
I said I was the sleeper.
Yeah, and you came to life, but let's see how this round goes down. There we go then. This is what FaZe were hoping for. It's going to be a B push from Fnatic into those tunnels, trying to find that first pick. They're holding up, but they've got no one waiting for them. So a lot of information gathered by Olaf Meister at this point. They can readjust themselves. It's looking quite promising for the CTs now. Interestingly
enough, that nade does 0 damage as it goes too far. But this is the push we talked about oftentimes from Fnatic, putting 2 players into these tunnels, and Olaf Meister loses the duel. It's Kiyoshima that takes him down. Good position from Crims, though. Walks by, spots 1, line up, take 2, and bomb. Thank you very much. He's going to leave that bomb because he's in such a vulnerable position, but now he's got information as he starts to retreat that they've wrapped through middle. He just has to sit there. There's only 9 seconds. There's nothing they can do. The T's are already looking to try and save in the B site. They have the real estate. They don't have the one thing they need, the check in hand to buy the house.
Unfortunately, FaZe plays themselves that round. You can see that they're not playing to win right now. They're not playing not to lose. They were so scared of this buy coming in from Fnatic. They weren't sure what's going to happen. The pause just comes in. They waited for so long. And the timings, unfortunately, didn't really work out in their favor. They were being quite disciplined up to that point, but they let the B tunnels be completely open. Went back there, they killed it off, thought, okay, well, we only lost 1 frag there, that's fine. But Crims, like we said, very intelligent player. He gets in that tight corner. He saw the time was running down at that point. As soon as he gets the first kill, it's the AWP is returning with him. And so as soon as that AWP goes down as well, he can't get that kill in return. There's no time left. And Fnatic, they're back into it, Matt. Here we go. Number 24. Still money not really balanced for them. You can see scouts on towards Dennis, but that certainly helps. 13-10 now.
Dennis again trying to get information, jumping up toward that lower tunnel. Rain and Fox, bomb in the hands of Fox, over toward B.
Ouch.
Yeah, that hurts. Doesn't feel good, that's for sure. But they're going to go on this with the smoke out at CT. It's out middle that they'll go. Watch at the top of the boxes. It should be a trade. It should be a trade. Crims left in the open. There's no response. Jacob, he's unable to avenge his teammate. That gives a great situation to Fnatic as they have a 4 versus 2. They've given up B site in the process of doing so, but The retake potential going to be very strong, and Rain faces out. Another good position from Crims. 3 kills in this round in total. Fox, good shot on Flusha, but needs to find 3 more. And watch the flank coming through. He just gets around the box before JW can spot him up, but he's got such limited movement. And Dennis is going to take him down. 2 on the bounce for Fnatic since the timeout. And you have to wonder, when does FaZe use theirs?
Well, they still have money available at this point. AZ and Jacob with around, well, they're both above $7,500, so they can kind of balance things out and drop an AWP over as well. It's going to be AZ buying that weapon. You'd assume that goes towards Fox, but this is where Fnatic start clawing their way back in now. They've stabilized their cash. Double AWP setup, JW and Olaf. Let's see what they can do with this one. It's been pretty rough for second half for Fnatic, but that big round. But like I said, FaZe, I feel like they overthought the situation. It's quite a common thing when you're the underdog going up against these big Titan players. When you have the lead, a pause of that comes in, and like I said, the term is you're playing not to lose instead of playing to win at that point. You're just so scared of what might be coming towards you. You run out of time, and it can be hard to watch sometimes.
I think that's a good way to put it. Simplistic way to put it in terms of mentality. Playing not to lose.
Yeah.
You tense up so much because you're fearing the negative.
Exactly.
And Crimson JW at long, they're going to get control and then send JW into a more passive angle where he can cover that, both that and catwalk. As AZ sprays through smoke to try and clear that out. The Safari Mesh, still the ugliest AK in the game. 2 on top of the site as well, because they haven't gone for flush it down at CT spawn for drop. They're going to get aggressive with him instead. Goes beyond barrel even. He's out toward the wicker baskets at quad, and Crims is going with him. So a double face, looking for the headshot. Can't find it. Crims will drop. That's going to force flush it back inside of the site and a flash to ensure it. All it really does is to serve and buy space for FaZe because they can't really approach on it. But this position from Olaf is so strong. Fox slow peek, down he goes. Kiyoshima able to shuffle over far enough that he's not spotted on the re-peek though, and Dennis now has to get aggressive in toward the closet. It works. He finds one, but there's no one else there to support him off, so it's a one-on-one duel. Kiyoshima's gonna win that, and AZ at mid will close the round with 3, and FaZe now only 2 rounds to find.
Just what they needed. It was looking a little bit scary at one point, but that's a huge round. And what was good about that as well, Olaf Meister towards that back of B side. It's very rare to see a player like him get that first kill and get it answered back straight away by someone like Kiyoshima. Like, that's a great shot from Kiyo. The fact that he managed to hit it, that's normally like a multi-frag situation. The time's running out, you're committed towards that B tunnel area, and players like Olaf, they'll probably wait like 4 or 5 seconds. They'll wait for you to commit before they reface again, but maybe expose himself a little bit too early now. And look at the money for Fnatic, 14-11. They've got 3 pistols, they have an AWP on JW. But let's see what FaZe decide to do this round. They know they can't make the same mistake they did before. Need to be working as a unit, can't allow the time to go right down before they make their final move.
Flusha waiting potentially to be flashed around the corner with this Deagle. Support roll right now to JW's AWP at the bottom of the stairwell. Jacob's already out mid. Flash through. Oh, doesn't spot Crims in the corner. Nearly gets taken down when Crims does pop out. 33 HP remaining and no boost right now for JW. It might be the time to try and do so, because if Jacob elects to rotate back through the tunnels on escape, he'd be able to spot him with that AWP. Instead, it's the Deagle from Flusha that goes one-on-one with AZ, and he'll fall. FaZe might be sending Fnatic to a lower bracket elimination game against G2.
They're being much more assertive now. They know it's a similar buy. They're not waiting in T-spawn. They're letting their big players actually operate. But there it is, JW, headshot, jumping shots. You know what these mean in CSGO. Every time they seem to hit, it's going to be a 4-on-3 now. But Rain brings a huge favor towards FaZe.
What do they do about this AWP situation? They're going to try and go through on it. JW does find Kiyoshima, but it's 1 versus 3, and he's looking like he's hungry for more. Smoke out might discourage that. This AWP, if they can go on to map point, could be the one thing they desperately need, and he realizes that as well.
Well, he has to save it at this point. They're currently at the first stage loss bonus. That's $1,400. Next round, they get $1,900. No one's getting any cash right now, as you can see on the scoreboard right now. They have about 2K, so JW needs to save this up. They can have any chance of staying alive in this one. And you can see FaZe know that. They want to go for the hunt, and that's the shot given away. If JW hit that, he probably would have survived. They'll be going on the hunt now. The flashbangs come in. He has to retreat at this point. Can't afford to sit at that T-ramp. And it looks like he may get away with this one as well. But, oh, okay, Fox, that's a huge kill. That could be the one that secures the win here. FaZe, everyone ruled them out of this. Fnatic versus an underdog in Europe right now. Someone we haven't really seen hit the top echelons of the scene. Great talent and a lot of experience within the team, but haven't really come into themselves as of yet. This could be a great milestone for them.
And in the previous roster at Cluj, they were the team that had the Cinderella story, had that deep run, and nearly made it through to the final. In fact, they took Envious into overtime. Unfortunately, from their perspective, the French did prevail and ended up going on to win the tournament, but now they're threatening to take on Fnatic and place them in a lower bracket. As Kiyoshima, Jacob, and Fox already on the B site. There is a bit of a stack from Fnatic. Crims, Olaf, and Dennis. And we know stacks from Fnatic are often successful, but it's Jacob instead. He goes down to the nade. So 2 in and 2 out from Fnatic's perspective in that B site, and the bomb is inside of the smoke. Fox, he wants to try and grab this, but Dennis is going to push beyond it. CZ75, one huge kill, but Fox, he's able to pull it back with the P250. Oh, a hero-style play from Dennis.
I'm wincing at every kill here, but 2-on-2, JW and lower B. What can he do with this?
Good positioning, but AZ knows the timing. They have to consider this as a possibility, but so too have to consider CT. Fox finds Flusha. It's all down to JW up the stairwell. CZ75 spots the shoulder. AZ sees him in return, but he gets the shot onto Fox. And all he has to do now is stay alive to draw this on. That allows AZ to grab bomb, this freedom of space, and he's going to go for a plant behind double stack right now, which leaves him in a position where the AK has a vulnerable angle on him, spots him up, flays through the smoke, and JW's going to keep Fnatic alive.
2 versus 1. CZ in lower B. Fox just gets caught with his pants down there, and it's going to be Fnatic staying alive for at least one more. The money won't be great going forward, but that's a huge round for them to pick up, obviously, as FaZe touching distance, but they could smell victory at that point. That was it. They went towards B. We discussed how tight that choke point can be, especially if there are multiple players on the CT side, trying to force their way into the bombs like that. Huge AG grenades coming in from Fnatic, does a ton of damage, and Dennis pushing through. He finds that kill, and Jacob did what he could, but it wasn't quite enough. 15-12, still heavily favor FaZe in terms of the economy right now. You can see 1 scout for Flusha. AWP in the hands of JW, Famous for Crims. Still a lot of work to do here. 3 in a row to force us to overtime.
Yeah, it's still desperate. Fox, AWP, spots down mid, doesn't land a shot as he fired toward the doorway. Does again before relocating his position. Money on either side. Breakable, that doesn't really matter for Fnatic. Round goes against them. They themselves are broken. One thing it could stand to prove, though, is that reinvestment becomes a possibility if they do drop players, even if they pick up the rounds. As Flusha waits behind at double door at mid, he's the one that has to get the information early to get the right call to make the swing. Dennis is going to come out from B to play off of him right now. I take that back, excuse me, the scout from Flusha instead. As AZ, Fox with the Xbox smoke start to get at the corner of Catwalk. And Flusha's read this. He knows that Xbox smoke likely means that someone is going toward Catwalk, so he's back over toward the A ramp instead with the scout. Smoke to delay. Execution just getting lined up. They should be able to push through this if they land their smokes correctly, but Crimson get it long. The flash out. We saw that play from JW before. It's the second time it's worked. As rain goes down, as 4 players committed to the catwalk position, drop in from AZ, and Flusha already forced back down the ramp. He's going to wrap around USB in hand, goes back over. He's trying to play this out inside of the smoke with the flash and get quite clever here, but he might be too clever for his own good, because all he's done is let AZ come back through. Bomb goes down. It's planted for catwalk. So it's Dennis and Crims that have to find kills. Flusha finds one as they try and retreat to their safe post plant positions. And the shots now come in. Dennis, oh, they're going to work this out. Takes down Jacob. It's all on AZ. At quad, he's pinched in, and it's good play from Fnatic. Well read in the end to take back that cat position.
You said Flusha didn't give himself much to work with there, but he's just so good at dancing around those smokes, listening out for footsteps, little nuances that can give him some clues as to what's going on. They had no idea who sat below there as well, and who would have thought a scout would deliver 3 kills in that scenario. It's now getting into the dangerous position now. It's going to be 15-13 for FaZe. They don't have money to work with this round. They did get the bomb planted. That definitely helps boost their chances, but still, this is getting pretty scary now. That was a big round for Fnatic. Flusha especially, you can see the hype has died down in the FaZe camp. They can feel the disaster approaching after having such a huge lead and many opportunities to close it. They will be on towards the Tech-9s, Desert Eagles. A couple of sets of body armor and a flash and a smoke. Is it a straight up B rush? I doubt it. Probably using that smoke towards middle, towards city spawn, flash through with a B split hill, or just walking straight in. I don't think this will matter too much. Let's see how it works out for them.
Ooh, shot in toward Olaf. Doesn't quite land. Kind of flash through the smoke nade as well from Olaf. A little bit of tripping as Dennis gets in his way. He wants to retreat. Dennis doesn't want to let him, but Will that pay off or not to let Olaf get to the window? He does get there in time, but he gets taken down. 2 kills to his name before doing so. Rain with a good shot. Dennis better than still through the smoke and a headshot into Keo. Efficiency is key, and now we go to round 30. There's a chance this is not done, as FaZe is unable to close, but now have guns to try and do so.
3 in a row for Fnatic. 1 more will take us to overtime, and that's what I feel like FaZe's chances drop off dramatically. Seems like Fnatic have worked out well. We have got a worthy contender here. We gave them a chance, but let's close this one out. It's going to be double orb setup on the Fnatic side once again. Olaf and JW, and no orbs available for FaZe. 5 AKs, not the best buy, and this is a change of pace as well. This is what Fnatic, they're playing to win right now. They're going aggressive. They're not sitting back and allowing FaZe to have freedom on the map. They want to go for these first kills. They want to show why they were the best team in the world, and they're trying to reclaim that title right now. Fearless.
Easy and Rain are ready for this push. So watch for Dennis to go around right now, because this could catch them out. Fox, he gets spotted by JW. Now that is actually smart from Dennis. He knows that one pick is all they need out of this. Tries to retreat, but he gets caught in the process by Jacob. So even though his intentions were well, he comes out worse for wear as they go back to a 4 versus 4. AZ down to 46, but this will start to favor FaZe if they can spread the defense.
You're absolutely right there. Dennis, you can see him trying to fall back. They got that initial pick, and then you thought, okay, that's enough. That's all we need. Let's get back to the bomb site here. Mission accomplished, but Jacob, good read. He's in lower B, gets that frag back. Still chance here. 4 versus 4. JW coming back towards mid, though.
And he's going to be here just in time. Gun barrel, shoulder instead shown. Misses that shot. This allows Jacob a chance to walk through, but they need to make sure not to overcommit because Crims was out from B. A good read from Jacob. Smoke out, JW. Flash goes behind it. That's not going to do anything. That was not intended. So they have an access point. They've got a linchpin. It's AZ into Olaf. It could be happening. It's JW 1 versus 4 through the smoke. He spotted out. CZ's going to keep him alive, but only just 19 HP. As the AWP faces onto the B site, bomb down, and AZ, Rain, and Kiyoshima all standing in the way of Fnatic's comeback chances. And this could be FaZe moving in to the upper bracket. Best of ones. They'll go against SK. Remember, if they could win that, it spoils everything. It would mean 2 of the top 3 teams potentially going home out of this group. But let's first focus where JW is, because he's trying to desperately get through that box, and it's Rain to close it. The most winning team in Major